Dignitas Personae, or the dignity of life, is introduced by Dona Vitae. It discusses the new technological advances in the biomedical industry. The Church is questioning the ethics behind the technology with the experiments performed on human embryos. The Church recognizes a person as a human being from the moment of conception to natural death. A baby is to be brought into this world through the conjugal act, or rather through the procreation of husband and wife. Since there is a rise in infertility, new treatments have surfaced. These treatments should follow three fundamental rights: the right to life, as mentioned before, from conception to natural death, the unity of marriage, and the procreation between spouses. Heterologous artificial fertilization, such as the donation of sperms, and homologous artificial fertilization, or fertilization with the spouse's sperm, through acts other than the conjugal act, are morally unacceptable. Adoption is encouraged for infertile couples. In vitro fertilization takes place outside the body, so there are no conjugal acts taking place during this process. During the process of in vitro fertilization, multiple embryos are placed into the womb, only to later be selectively aborted. Afterwards, some embryos are frozen, just in case. The freezing of embryos is disrespectful and causes major risks to the embryo, many of which do not survive. And if the embryo is to survive, then they become orphans. There are thousands of orphans around the world due to the freezing of embryos. So, the only solution is to not perform in vitro fertilization, since giving these orphans to infertile couples or performing surrogacy with them is ethically unacceptable. Another problem concerning in vitro fertilization is embryo reduction, or the elimination of multiple pregnancies. Pre-implantation diagnosis is the act of aborting embryos with genetic or chromosomal defects. Also, they may be aborted for having an unwanted gender or other unwanted qualities. Cloning is another issue being faced today. It is intrinsically illicit because there is no self-giving acts between spouses, no link to sexuality, and it goes against the dignity of humans. Man was created in God's image and likeness, and cloning abuses the originality God gave us. Another morally questionable issue is stem cell research. Stem cells have two characteristics. 1, they multiply themselves, and 2, they produce nerve, muscle, and blood cells. It's ethically questionable because it doesn't always cause harm to the subject, but when you take it from the embryo, it kills the embryo.